It's going to take about 30 seconds.
Cool.
So once I see you appear here, you go live.
Sounds good.
Unless Mike shouts at us, go live. We're live. We're live!
Oh, we're live?
Yep.
All right.
30 seconds. So
hello, and it is A Humble Collector, and I'm here with my friend Readout Productions. And he's on camera tonight. And yeah, we're going to be setting up most of the rest of the collection room. This is most of what's left in the Militaria. There's a couple things still in my parents' house. Most notably, my box of Battlefield Doug firearm parts and things like that. I haven't figured out where I'm going to hang that. But yeah, so I figured we'll just go through the boxes. I'll throw stuff on the shelves. If there's anything you want to closer look at or more information on, I'll be happy to provide that. But yeah, so I guess we'll get started here with box number 1. Right, so this is the shaped charge off of a Panzerfaust. I actually have the rest of the Panzerfaust in the other room. Let me grab that.
He disappears sometimes. She'll be fine, folks.
Yes, this is a Panzerfaust 60. This is probably one of my favorite pieces I own, actually. So has a lot of the original paint, so has the original label here. I do have a stand for it to probably put it there, but I have no idea which box I actually pack that in. So until we find it, I'm just going to set it over here very carefully.
Very carefully.
Yeah, very carefully. That was a bit more of an expensive piece. Let's see what else is in this box. We have another Panzerfaust, actually. This is a lake recovered example. This one is supposedly a Panzerfaust 150, which they only made a couple of at the end of the war. Now, I'll level with you. I've compared this tube to my 60 tube, and the only difference I could find is this little screw here at the bottom is here, when on every other Panzerfaust model that I could find reference photos of, it's up here. So maybe that's how you identify it. I honestly don't know. Probably going to put that up on the relic shelf here. What do you think of Readout? Back, front, side? Have it sticking out the side like this?
Yeah, then you can clothesline yourself as you walk in.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's all part of the plan. It's your choice if you want to put it in the back or not.
Yeah. Probably put it in the back.
You probably have a better eye than I do.
Yeah, let me move. Don't want to drop this helmet. Did that once. It was a bad experience.
Yeah, he dropped a few other things moving all this stuff, didn't you?
No, I didn't really drop too much. I sliced myself with that bayonet like I posted about. Let's put that. There we go. And then rearrange some of this other stuff. But yeah, I haven't had a lot of weird stuff happen with the collection, but I dropped that helmet once while I was cleaning, and it was not a pleasant time.
No.
Cool. All right, let's see what else we got here. Got a pile of books.
Ah, yes.
Some of these are military related, some of them are not. So we have a historical sketch of German area occupied by the 89th Division, which I still need to scan. Put this over here by the scanner for now.
Ah, yes. Where all things go to be scanned.
I have a lot of these came out of a lot of different books and things. We have like some agricultural magazines that were published during the Third Reich. Why? I guess there's some people that collect mid-20th century farming books.
We got the Pillar of Hercules going here.
Yeah, that's all the books I still need to read. There's that. There's a pile on the floor as well. And we got this diary with a portrait of the funny mustache man, which I'm not really sure what I'm allowed to show on stream and not related to the...
We refer to him as the man with the funny mustache.
Yeah, the man with the funny mustache.
We can actually, according to History Underground, if you show him with a photo of the cat that looks like Hitler, then it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any of those ready, though, so
okay.
I guess we'll have to avoid showing him for now.
That's the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah. So this probably isn't going to be a terribly exciting stream, but I do hope you guys enjoy it. So next up on the list here, this is the stand for the ground dug Panzerschreck shield that I have. And I'm trying to think if I want to put it up top. I have that spot open. I don't know if you can actually see it on the camera there. But I have another stall helm coming in that's going to be going up there. It's going to be really cool. Let's see. What if I could put that in the back behind one of these helmets?
Guests have joined us.
Oh, good.
Guest is in your blood relative.
Yes. My blood relation. That there.
So we have Will Allen on here. I put a Yugo SKS bayonet most on the way through my hand while cleaning the comb line of the rifle.
Oh, the Cosmoline.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Luckily, like I said, it just barely nicked me. Yeah. Hope you're doing all right. That doesn't sound like a pleasant time at all. All right.
Yeah. Put the shield up there.
Try not to drop this on my head.
No, we don't want to drop things on our heads.
See, if it's up there like that, you're not getting a good view of it.
Well, what if you put it in the corner and you flip-flop the stall helm with that? Like, put that in the corner, have it, like, come in this direction?
Like tilted in the room?
Yeah, like tilted, like mine way at an angle. It might look a little cooler.
I like that.
Because you should put it up there.
Yeah, let's move this one.
This is my expertise. No, it's not actually my expertise. I'm just bullshitting as we go through. Sorry about that. I just nuked your channel.
Oh, you muted the channel?
No.
What?
No.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
This is what you came to watch, folks. A man admiring his shield, his bullet-riddled shield.
Yeah. We got these two lovely ground dug stall helms. This one, I'm fairly certain, is actually a single decal SS. And then this is a double decal Luftwaffe. That looks pretty good. Once that new helmet comes in, I'll probably have to rearrange a little bit.
Which new helmet is that?
So, this one, a fellow YouTuber actually sold to me. So, once that comes in, I plan on doing a video with it. You know, didn't give it to me for free or anything. I did buy it for what I thought was a pretty fair price. But supposedly, the story that he told me is that a older woman from like a few villages over from him, actually, her sister picked it up after the German retreat in '44. So it's like a little rusty, but like the liner's still in it. It's pretty cool. Let's see. World War I ammo box.
Yee! Yeah,
this one, I think it came with a name on it, but I'd have to check my inventory records later. So as you can see here, I kind of got the World War II and World War I going at the moment. And speaking of the Panzerfaust holder that I was looking for. Perfect. Still one of my favorite pieces. Are you popping the bubble wrap?
It's bubble wrap. I gotta play with it.
So you got a tank periscope there. Put that down here for now.
Going way down there.
Yeah. I'm probably going to need to get another shelf at some point, but it's a problem for later. There's a British map case. I'll also go down here for now. Let's see here. Oh, this is pretty cool. This is my light gas protection suit. I really do need to do a video on this. This is a pretty rare piece of kit. I got it on a gunbroker auction for about $100. And this is almost a nearly complete tropical set. I think it's worth like 6 or 7. I saw online. They're very rare. Basically, I think it was on the regimental level. There was like one unit that was responsible for like if chemical weapons were going to be used. They were supposed to like don this suit and go into the area and make sure that it was actually like safe for people to reoccupy those positions. And they were disposable. You're only supposed to use them once, then throw them out. So not a lot of them.
That one didn't get thrown out.
Yeah, this one didn't get thrown out. It's missing the instruction manual, and there's a hood that would go with the set that's also missing. But yeah, no, pretty cool though. And like I said, the guy who was selling it didn't know what it was, so I ended up getting a pretty good steal that way. Put that there.
Oh, and Mystery Man a little while ago commented that the Panzerfaust looks awesome.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, that was another gun broker acquisition. It came up one day, and every now and then you throw a bid on an item and you don't expect to win. That was just one of those things where I lucked out, nobody else was bidding on it, so I got it for a pretty good deal. This is a U.S. Marine Corps 1911 holster from World War I. Put that there for now.
We just got inventory at the gift shop. And what I've learned is when you first unload stuff, you just put stuff anywhere, just find a place for it.
Yep.
Then like a few weeks later, you'll come back and actually organize.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen here. So these are my World War I stereoscope slides. So if you've never seen or used a stereoscope before, pretty cool. That is the correct word, right?
Stereoscope.
Yeah, stereoscope. So this is like your early VR, kind of, if you want to look at it that way. Basically, they printed all these cards out of these nice two very similar photos, and you mount them thusly. And yeah, from there you actually just look in, and you can adjust, and it provides a 3D effect, which is pretty cool. And in this case, the photo that I was looking at is the grave of Lieutenant Quentin Roosevelt, who was a pilot who was shot down during the war. But, I believe he was buried by the Germans, if I'm remembering correctly. Is that, do you remember?
I do not at this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Those probably aren't going to live there. I'll need to move them at some point. That was pretty cool. So this is a pair of binoculars that I actually bought from somebody on Reddit, if you can believe it. He had posted in the Militaria subreddit, basically looking for kind of information on this. His I think it was his grandfather was from Poland originally. He was Jewish, immigrated to the U.S. prior to the war, and then fought through Europe. But what's neat about this is on the front here, I don't know if it'll pick it up well on the camera. Good. But you can see Hauptmann Wash, and then on the other side here, field post number 171, I think it is. And then Infantry Regiment 9? Yeah, Infantry Regiment 9. So what's cool about that is basically that's a World War I era set of binocs. And since somebody had scrawled the field post number into it, I think that what probably happened is he was already in the field and his family sent them to him. And I guess they were worried about them getting separate. That's the only reason I can think of putting a field post number on there. But very cool piece. Of course, the binoculars, they're missing the rubber eyepieces here, things like that. But the optics themselves are actually still pretty clear, all things considered. I love pieces like that, though, that tell a story. Let's see what else we got here. My World War I metal marking kit. Used for dog tags, putting stampings on.
Yeah, that's one of your pride and joys there.
Yeah, this one's actually pretty cool. I got a set of dog tags to go with it. One of my more popular videos, surprisingly, was me talking about this kit. They actually aren't particularly rare. They come up on eBay fairly regularly. You can get one for, I think you usually go for.
But it's fully intact too. It comes with everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can open it up here. I think I'm missing like maybe one punch, but. Get that opened. Oh yeah, no, I do have. Yeah, I'm missing J.
Oh, no.
But yeah, pretty cool. So you got
0 out of 10. You're missing J.
Yeah. What's cool is on the inside here in pencil, it's marked with A.S. Wright's box. So A.S. Wright probably was the original guy who was using that. But they're pretty cool. And then the World War I dog tags, they're pretty simple. It's just aluminum disc, so you can make them yourself if you're handy, and you could actually stamp them with this kit. I knew people who ran a metal shop in a town near here, and they actually made me a bunch of blanks. Never ended up really doing a ton with it. Like, I made a set for myself that I haven't worn in years, but yeah, pretty cool kit. But if you're interested, like I said, yeah, they come up fairly often. Not terribly expensive when they tend to sell, so if you like kind of do-it-yourself kind of stuff, that might be a fun kit to get.
Will Allen says, one of my books describes an American shocked when he finally gets a captured set of German binoculars, vastly superior to those issued by the GIs.
Yeah, no. Well, Germany has a long tradition of really high-quality optics and optics manufacturing. I think there was something during World War I where the German and British governments had like a deal where the Germans were actually trading them like telescopic sights for like rifles in exchange for shoes or food or something. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. Yeah, I can't remember the exact details, but yeah, German optics are pretty good. So here we have a collection of books that I believe are all Balloon Corps related, or some of them are. Yeah, so this book here, this is a Douay version of the New Testament, Army Navy edition. This one is actually marked to the 44th Balloon Company on the inside there. And then, yeah, this is just a World War II era New Testament. And well, this one's also 44th Balloon Company, New Testament. I think it was issued to the same soldier. Interestingly enough, that one was presented by a Father Killian. I actually knew a Father Killian in college. He was actually the head of campus ministry at the time. So I thought that was pretty funny.
And we are at the 15-minute mark. So I'm dropping some. So I am required to remind you that if you've not done so already, please subscribe to A Humble Collector's channel. Please support his channel grow. We're at approximately 720 subscribers. Of course, we're looking to get him to 1,000. And if you like military items like this, be sure to subscribe to get him to 1,000.
Oh, well, thank you. And definitely, if you're not already, make sure you check out Readout Productions' channel as well. He does a lot of really great historical documentaries. He does a lot of stuff for, like, PA history. His construction paper Battlefield series is excellent. This is about a third of a Sten gun. Let's see here. Where do I want to put that? Put it under the 98K pouch for now. So one of the eternal struggles, of course, in Militaria collecting is shelf space. Never have enough of it. This is a pretty oddball set. This is a original set of toe plates for German jackboots.
If you can actually hold that up. Yeah, it's a little awkward. We don't want to spill we don't want to spill them onto the audience.
100 in there.
This is not a 3D experience, folks.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, no, every now and then you find like new old stock stuff from the war. I think it's always a good idea to buy new old stock when you can, just because it's kind of think it's not going to be around forever. Let's see what else we got in here.
Stuff.
Very dusty stuff. Yeah, I need to dust your collection more than I do.
You probably have me beat.
Yeah, it's pretty nice German presentation plaque. So the plaque is newer, but all the hardware is original. It's blank. It's never been used. I made a joke like a billion years ago when I first unboxed this, and if I ever hit like 50,000 subscribers, something crazy like that, I get this inscribed. But we will see.
Do it.
Be kind of fun. Let's see what else we got.
Just put the channel name on. Don't put your actual name. Put the channel name.
Yeah, just put the channel name.
Yeah.
Yeah, this compass goes with this hat up here. Yeah, this all belonged to a engineer on one of the B-25 Mitchells. Oh, yeah, this is pretty cool. So this is the instructions record card for World War I gas mask. So this would be kind of tied to the end of the bag. And this one, yeah, it's filled out. It was used by a Fred E. Ferris, Corporal Fred E. Ferris. It was issued to him September 10th, 1918.
Wow.
What's pretty cool is it actually has this plaster here for repairing the mask if there's any tears. Not something, a lot of gas masks will be missing this when you find them, so it's kind of a cool little piece you don't see very often. We're getting near the end of that box. But also, for those of you who maybe haven't been around for a while, I collect Balloon Corps stuff too. I haven't gotten any Balloon Corps stuff lately, but I have these really cool print plates actually related to the balloons and stuff in World War I.
Oh, bring them up to the camera. Show them.
Sorry.
You can't see it from afar.
Yes, we got an airship there. I think this is anti-submarine airship R-31, which I think is a British airship. And then this other plate here is German soldiers with an observation balloon. So, pretty sweet. Still in their original packaging. So, it's very tempting to open them. I go back and forth, thinking it'd be cool to like open them up and put ink on them and actually like stamp something out. Shall I take this? This is pretty cool. This is a Stein made out of artillery shell. I really wanted to drink out of this.
I don't advise it.
No, it's literally like if you look inside there, it's just rust. It's yeah, it's bad. Well, what's cool about this one, it's actually marked on the front to Pré Cessé or Cessé. 1915, which was an Austrian fortress up in the Alps. And it was actually destroyed. Oh, geez, I can't remember. Let's see if I wrote it down here. Oh, yeah, it was destroyed in 1915, so that's pretty cool that it was. I wonder if this was actually a souvenir from one of the Italian soldiers that took out that fort. But yeah, really cool stuff. I've never seen one exactly like this. I've seen like ceramic steins that are shaped like artillery shells, but
You might know what he's talking about. Mystery Man says, talk about recycling.
Recycling. Recycling. I'm trying to think what that means.
Do you want us to reuse and recycle?
I wonder if he's talking about like selling off items. I haven't really reached the point where I felt the need to sell off any of the items in my collection. I'll probably get there eventually, just space and needing funding for other projects. But that's definitely part of the hobby, because you can't just turn it into a black hole that you throw all your money into. You have to eventually separate with some stuff, but just haven't gotten there yet. So this is probably like one of the pride joys of my balloon core collection. This is an original operating manual from Goodyear for the kite balloons they used in World War I. This one is marked to a L. Vandewater, U.S. Naval Reserve Flying Corps, June 10th, 1918, Akron, Ohio. Akron was where the big balloon school was during World War I. But there's some really cool like photos. And...
the shell cup was recycled.
Oh, recycled, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the cool things with trench art is like seeing how people reuse items. I have a couple other trench art pieces. I can't remember if they're in that box or not. But yeah, soldiers, they get bored on the battlefield and, tend to use the stuff they kind of have around to pass the time. I guess that's kind of a popular misconception, because a lot of the trench art you see from World War I is like the trench art shell casings. They're engraved with like the names of battles and dates and things. Most of those were actually done by jewelers and like actual like experienced civilian craftsmen. And forgot to put that back in the envelope. The reason was there was actually a very large and talented jewelry industry in Belgium, and after Belgium was mostly conquered by Germany during the First World War, a lot of those craftsmen actually fled Belgium for France, and of course being displaced they really didn't have a way to make a lot of money, so they started taking the shell casings and selling them to soldiers as souvenirs, which of course is illegal. Technically the shell casings were still property of the Entente governments. However, I do have one example of a shell that was actually engraved by a soldier. As you can tell, it's a lot cruder than the examples you normally see. But yeah, you have JCW in the heart there. You have another heart that he started writing in, then stopped. And it looks like he was in the Battery C of the 1st Artillery Regiment, who knows. And at the bottom here it says Mother. Mother. Sorry. Yeah, that's a pretty cool piece. You don't see stuff like that too often.
What's the whole mother thing?
That's a song. Mother, tell your children not to walk my...
Oh, well, we're faking different mother songs.
Which one do you think of? You know what I say?
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
I do. That's with you. This is pretty cool. So this is French for American Soldiers on vinyl.
On vinyl?
There's an ancient video on my channel that actually I play one side of one of these discs. But it's pretty cool. Technically, the write-up on the back says it's not just for soldiers, it's for businessmen. That's basically soldiers, businessmen, tourists. Leave. This one's dated to... Oh yeah, if I take out the phrase book here. First aid French for American soldiers. Yeah, this one's dated 1917. It's pretty neat. Alright, I think this box is actually empty. Sweet. Alright, so we'll move on to the second box, which has a lot of my case items and some other stuff. This is a balloon core canteen, which I actually did a video on fairly recently. 32nd Balloon Company, labeled there, which is pretty nice. Yeah, lots of boxes. This was a lot of trips moving all of this stuff. So here we have a 1917 bayonet. Love sword bayonets, are just cool. But also we have this lovely trench mirror. So the point,
wow.
Yeah, the point of the trench mirror is you could stick it on the end of the bayonet there, and you can actually use it to check around corners. I'm sure a lot of soldiers probably just used them for shaving and stuff too. Yeah, those will go over here. Let's see. Got a box of World War II German 8mm ammo, which actually also I have a couple of these cardboard battle packs, basically.
Just walk a little bit in front. There we go.
Yeah, cardboard battle packs. This is what these cases of ammo would come in originally. I had the opportunity to buy a large set of these a while ago. So I got 3 here. I got 3 more back at the parents' house.
Will Allen says, I have a Eddystone P14 that would probably fit.
Yep, that would. Eddystone's one of the big manufacturers of the 1917 rifle. Also, the trench gun with the heat shield and bayonet lug will also fit that. So related, in the back here, we actually have this large, normally this would be the pattern like a sun in service flag. However, this one's got 15 stars on it, and it's huge. Also, as you can see, it was stored very poorly for a long time.
First time it's been hung.
First time it's been hung.
For at least for you.
I purchased that back when I was in college, so that was at least 3 years ago, and didn't have the room to display it. But this stuff came with it too, so this banner came with it, which is for the, I can't remember, the Niagara. Here. Yeah, there you go.
There. We'll hold it up like we're actually there.
We're
actually there, folks.
Yeah, Niagara Council number 8. Which, originally when I bought it, I thought this might be from like a, like an actual like tribal council. But I did some research, and I think it's from, if I'm remembering correctly, it's like the Fraternal Order of Engineers or something like that. They had a lodge that seems to match that. It's still pretty cool. And yeah, as you can see, these were stored in like a basement or something for decades. It looks like on the corner or the side of that flag there, you can see like these dirty circles. I think there was probably like a can of paint or something on there, and it was just like awful. But it survived, which is more than you could say for a lot of the other items for that period.
Jason S., and I believe he's referring to his own collection, says, my favorite item is my 1942 Walther P38 made by Mauser.
Ah, very nice. Yeah, P38s are pretty good guns. My grandfather has a few. I haven't been out to the range with them in a long time, but yeah, they're beautiful guns. The only handgun from the World Wars I have in my collection currently is a Model 1895 Nagant revolver, which is pretty neat because mine was made in 1907, if I remember correctly. So pre-World War I. It still has one Imperial proof mark on it, which during the Russian Revolution, a lot of the arms that the Red Army captured or were taken out of factories, they would actually remove all the Imperial markings, which leads me to believe that was probably on the person of like a White Army soldier during the Russian Civil War. And probably at the end of the war when it was surrendered to the Reds, by that point they weren't as uppity about removing all of those markings. So it's pretty neat. It doesn't shoot particularly well, but it's been through a lot of abuse over its 100 years, I'm sure. Enfield spike bayonet. Put that here for now. Oh yeah, this is my mystery bayonet. So I think, per my research, this is made in Solingen in Germany, which is a big knife-making town. I think that this is an interwar contract bayonet for the Poles, but I'm not 100% on that. But it's definitely from like the interwar period. Then also here we have a nice Mauser dress bayonet. Which, fun fact, if you do have one of these, please don't put it on your rifle. They actually, even though it looks like they have the lug there and everything, they won't actually fit. You'll just damage them. So somebody did do that to this at one point. It's all torn up down there in the insides. So just unfortunate. Let's see here. 20mm shell casing, dummy, of course. Well, shell and casing. It's a whole package.
And we are at the half-hour mark, so time for my plug that if you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe to A Humble Collector. He goes in-depth on multiple items that you're currently seeing in this room, and if he's not done a video on the items, he is going to eventually. And he is also notorious for his Death Card series.
Oh, yes, my Death Card series. Yeah, no, Death Cards are definitely what I am most known for. Over here in the corner, we have my backlog. So there are probably 400 or 500 Death Cards in that box, if I had to guess. Maybe more. But yeah, this is years of content, if not decades.
And Will Allen says, guns have got so expensive I don't even go looking anymore. I have several SKS and Mosins, and I only paid $99 for back in the day.
Yeah, no, I kicked myself about not buying a Mosin when they were cheaper. Because I remember I was in Oregon when I was probably 13 or 14 visiting some family. And we went to some local like sporting goods store. They had a couple Mosins that were like $150 a piece. And, you know, at that point, Dad probably would have bought one for me if I'd asked, but I didn't. And I kicked myself ever since. I'd love to have a Mosin. Yeah, this is part of a Mauser C96 pistol. Actually, I picked this up at a flea market, oddly enough. But this is an interwar version based off the serial number. I'd love to have a Mauser C96. Going through there with the tank.
Yeah.
Paperweight.
I also, you put whatever. I just wanted to tank the ride.
You wanted to tank the ride across there?
I wanted to tank the ride.
Have some nice M1 Grand clips there.
Yeah.
Let's see, we're getting into a couple of my mess kits.
Jason S. says, I have 10 Death Cards from the 1939 Polish campaign.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, you don't see a lot of the early cards. Most of the cards in my collection, I think, are from like 42, 43, which neither were good years for the German army.
They were not.
Yeah. But yeah, I have a handful from the Polish campaign. There was one, I can't remember if I posted the video recently or if I did the research recently, but he died of dysentery, like right after the Polish campaign wrapped up in like, can't remember the name of the town. But this is a mess kit here. This one's actually on the front, pretty basic, just has JCP. And then you flip it over the back. You have Benicia Arsenal, which I think is in California. You have this nice plane here. You got Camp Kearney, Camp Mills, Liverpool, Winchester, Southampton. 1918 USA Nationals in a baseball. So immediately when I see this, I'm like, oh, maybe this guy was like a baseball player. So I went and looked at all the players that I could find listed online. There was a website, I can't remember what it was called, that had all the teams listed out. And there's not a single person from the 1918 USA Nationals with the initials JCP.
Huh.
Yeah, so maybe he just liked baseball. I don't know. But it's a neat piece regardless. Let's see. Probably move this down here.
Alberto Ayala. Thanks to you, I actually picked up a Death Card of a SS member.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, they're a lot of fun to collect, the Death Cards, just because now with access to Ancestry and everything else, you can do so much good research. Even a few years ago, it's crazy to think that prior to Ancestry, if you had Death Cards, there was really no way to do any further research. But now it's crazy. You know, I have cards that I paid maybe $1, $2 for that basically don't look exciting. Then you start digging, you actually find really interesting stories. Got these two trench art lids for mess kits here. So we have this very chicken-looking eagle.
Yeah.
And
we have Army Corps of Engineer on that one.
Yeah, Army Corps of Engineer 52nd. This is for, G.R. Newkirk. And that's France, 1918, 1919. So he must have been around for the Army of Occupation. But pretty cool stuff. This is probably my favorite of the mess kits. This one's actually for the, if I open it up here, for a JHG of the 515th Engineering Battalion. I think it's, Engineer Service Battalion. But this was actually a segregated unit.
Oh, wow.
So you do not see Militaria from those units very often. And I actually have a copy of their roster here. So this would have either belonged to, John Henry Collins or, John Herschel Goodnight, looks like. But yeah, but very cool piece.
Where did they fight at?
Well, so the engineer service battalion.
Well, not fight.
Oh, France.
Well,
wait. So basically, I don't know exactly.
I shouldn't have worded like that. Yeah, with like engineering, but
basically, the engineer.
Sorry.
Stepping on the word.
Yeah.
The engineer service battalions were responsible for basically getting supplies from the boats to the front line. So they would have been working in like the rail yards, the warehouses.
What I want to say, what particular part were they stationed at? Where were they based at?
That I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think I just killed some of your viewership.
Nah, it's all good.
They're like, who's this dunce running the camera? And I am a dunce.
No, Readout is very knowledgeable. If you watch any of his Gettysburg videos, I'm kind of just there, and Readout's like from memory, just reciting all this stuff.
The roles are reversed tonight, though.
Yeah, we're kind of in my element today.
We are in his world.
So the funny thing is, I'm pretty scatterbrained, but when it comes to the military stuff, it's like I can recall stuff that even I'm surprised I remember. I guess it's just because I find it interesting, and everything kind of tells a story. Stories are easier to remember. So now we're getting into my cases here. And the first one that we have here got a good mix of some metals and then some trench art and things.
Bloody bucket.
Yep, Bloody Buckets. This is a 28th Infantry Division Reunion medal for a Mark Buckley, who I have not researched yet. And then we actually have a really cool 28th Division Victory Medal with all 5. So there's only... This combination of 5 bars is only applicable to 28th, if I remember correctly, which is how I know it's from them. So you have the Champagne Marne campaign bar, the Ein Marne, the Meuse Ein, the Meuse Argonne, and then defensive sector, which is basically anybody that was fighting in the trenches. We also have a Croix de Guerre there, which is a French medal. It's pretty cool. That little coin there is actually made out of a German artillery barrel. They melted it down. It's pretty neat. Put that over here for now. Yeah, some of these cases have mixes of World War I and World War II stuff, so I'm going to have to, like, rearrange. Oh, this is fun. So this is my, getting distracted. This is my container of Pervitin. Ever since I kind of found out about Pervitin and the use of, like, methamphetamines and stuff in World War II, I was like, I have to have, like, a case just because they're cool. It took me years to track this down. They don't come up very often. This one is actually marked as Luftwaffe property. So the Luftwaffe really liked Pervitin because it kept pilots awake for those long flights and missions and things. Of course, the problem is it's methamphetamine. You have a lot of bad side effects. This particular one's dated to September of 1941, which per my research is right around the time that they kind of stopped issuing Pervitin.
Did they learn from their mistake, Connor?
No. No, they did not. No, there's a fascinating history of the Third Reich using drugs in a variety of different circumstances. This is a set of ground dug medals. They weren't all found together. These 5 down here were, though. These were actually all dug up together in Halba, which you're very familiar with from your construction paper battlefield video.
I am.
Yeah, what's cool about this, so we have this set here, we have Black Wound Badge, 2 Eastern Front medals, Crimean Shield badge, and then a General Assault badge. What's really cool, sorry, if I bring it any closer, what's really cool, though, is you can see that like these were actually stored with the intention of coming back to get them later. Ribbons wrapped around the medal. You actually have paper around this General Assault badge. So my theory is, given the fact we have these 2 Eastern Front medals, is that 2 soldiers probably buried them together, and for who knows what reasons, they never came back. So somebody found them, dug them up. This Iron Cross First Class up here was actually dug up in Nuremberg, and this one was found in Poland, apparently. And then this Silver Cross was actually found in Latvia on the site of the Christmas battle, so I remember correctly. It's pretty neat. Okay. Go there for now. I love ground dug stuff, in case you couldn't tell. What do you think? Okay. Maybe we'll show that case? Yeah. Nah. Bunch of German medals. You can see them in some of my other videos.
We're trying to be a little careful. Those that are in the World War II history community may know that History Underground, aka JD, has been struggling with YouTube censorship, particularly in his current series where he's fallen in the footsteps of the Third Reich through Europe. So we're trying not to ruin Humble Collector's chances.
Which is funny because I have videos that have those on the thumbnail, but that was a long time ago. That was old YouTube.
The algorithm. It's a computer.
But yeah, so we have this case mostly empty, but we have a good conduct medal in the original box. This is actually a propaganda medal that the English stamp that's like anti-Prussian propaganda, which is kind of fun. A couple Merchant Marine pins here, and then an Army Air Force 1,000 flight hours badge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these all came from a picker that I knew who's since gotten out of business, but he always found really cool stuff. His prices were always really nice, too. Yeah, I actually have a collection of 40-odd letters, all from the same member of SS Viking, that he also found and sold to me. Which, I would love to translate them and do like a video at some point, but Sutherland's script is like awful to read. So, fun fact, because anytime I'm doing research into like death cards or stuff, when you get to the casualty records, they're always handwritten, almost always handwritten, sometimes they're typed. But they're in cursive, which I can read cursive, that's fine. But the script that the Germans used in like the 20s and 30s that they taught in the schools is completely different than like modern like German cursive script. So there's actually a lot of Germans today also can't read Sutherland, which is what it's called. So it's a lot of fun. It takes a long time to translate, and even then I'm not always 100% sure. This is pretty cool. This is a Sun and Service flag for the Tank Corps in World War I. Which I did a video on a long time ago. It's not particularly good, but if you want to check it out, it's there. Never seen one like this. The guy that I bought it from, he'd been dealing for like 30 years. He never seen one either. That's kind of one of the fun things with Militaria, though, is you're always finding new stuff that stubs people. At least if you're like me and you spend probably hours a day looking at online auctions.
Some would say that is unhealthy.
It probably is. It's definitely not good for my wallet. Let's see here. This is one of my favorite groupings. So this is actually the items from Edwin C. Brentels, but he was actually in the Siberian Expeditionary Force. So he has the Siberia clasp on his Victory Medal, which very rare. I think really the only class rarer than Siberia are a couple like the naval class, like minesweepers and stuff. But this is an inflatable pillow, which I did not know they had in the First World War. But he's actually written everywhere that he was stationed on there, including in Russia. There you can see Archangel, Bakharitsa, and Solombola, which is pretty neat. And that's him in that photo there. I believe that's his mother.
I never saw that piece before.
Yeah, no, I unboxed it a while ago, and I was going to do a video on it and just got distracted with other stuff. But very cool. I still can't believe I got this lot. It was on eBay, and I paid less for this than that Siberia Victory Medal's worth. Huh. So everybody was sleeping on it, which is kind of unusual because, Siberian Expeditionary Force stuff on eBay tends to get bid up pretty high. So,
Will Allen says, my great-grandfather went down on a Liberty ship during the Second World War. He was retired and didn't have to go.
I volunteered. My condolences, though I do recognize it's a bit late. Yeah, at least on my mother's side, I'm not really sure about my father's, but I didn't really have any direct relatives serve in the Second World War. Apparently in the First World War there was a Guernsey Islander that we're related to. I haven't done any research on him yet. My grandfather's brother, though, was in Korea. He was actually attached to the 1st Cavalry Division, which, if you know anything about the Korean War, they didn't do particularly well. I don't know if I can show this case either.
You got a glimpse. For those that don't know, it's the Volkstrom and the other two.
Some SA Sports armbands.
Yeah. He's done videos on them, if I'm not mistaken.
The Volkstrom one I have. It's actually one of my more popular videos. Eventually I want to do a Volksstorm display. I already have it planned out. I just need to get another mannequin, and then I'm going to get a nice 1930s greatcoat. I'm going to give him a Panzerfaust. I'm going to get a pair of the wire rim glasses put on there. I'm going to put the armband on there, and then I actually have a Moliker Steyr model. I can't remember the model number. Moliker style rifle from World War I. That would be perfect because the Volksstorm got a whole bunch of surplus, really old, not great equipment.
And we are at the 45-minute mark, so it's that obligatory ad. Now, this is not going to be for just a humble collector or just for Readout Productions, but our collaborative channel, Heterochrome Media Podcast. If you did not understand what I just said, don't worry. A link will be dropped so you can see how it's spelled. But Heterochromedia Podcast is where we get together and we matchmake the oddest double features known to man.
Yes.
Be it movies, television shows, albums, books, you name it. We don't just do double features. We also go off on tangents.
Lots of tangents.
Alcoholic tangents. And talk about just fun stuff. So if you want to hear Humble Collector and his friends talk about stuff besides military collecting, and that is not us knocking you. It's not knocking anybody.
Yeah, no.
But we all have other hobbies. I think we can all agree. We all have other hobbies that may not meld. Be sure to consider to subscribe to Heterochromedia Podcast. You'll be supporting A Humble Collector, Readout Productions, and a few other people that are on our channel.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. It's a nice break from kind of the more serious stuff that we do. And it gives you good recommendations for shows, movies, all kinds of great stuff. This is the last case.
The last case.
Yeah, and then there was that last box out in the living room has some stuff in it. But yeah, this is my patch case.
The patch case.
So most of these patches actually did come from that same picker that I was talking about earlier. But we have some very lovely embroidered Army Air Force patches here. We have China, Burma, India Theater made patch here. We have, this is a Far East Command patch, 5th Air Force. This is a Middle East Command patch, which would have been Middle East. I don't know why that was confusing me. Yeah, Alaskan Command patch, pretty cool. This is some World War I or possibly early interwar 461st Aero Squadron. This is kind of a weird badge. So this is the patch that was supposed to be worn by American soldiers stationed in Hungary for the Army of Occupation. Now, for those of you who know what happened immediately after World War II, they were not there very long before the Soviets were like, yeah, you need to leave. So as far as I know, there were a lot of these patches made, and there's like a handful of photos of people wearing them, but a lot of them were like unissued. So I've tried doing research, but I really can't find any information or any write-ups of anybody who was like there post-war. But I think that'd be very interesting. I have a soft spot for Hungary. It was my first European country that I ever got to visit. Yeah, I might have to prop that up there for now. Alright, readouts coming in with the last box here. Need a hand? Alrighty.
You didn't see any of that, literally.
So,
That was a struggle.
set of gloves here. I have gloves, I never use them. I don't know why.
Do you wash your hands before you hold them?
Oh yeah, I always wash my hands before I start handling the collection. I think part of it's that I wear the gloves and then I'll pick up like something like the Panzerfaust and they get all rusty and dirty.
Yeah.
I can't use them for anything else.
I had white gloves, so when I did my artifact highlight, they lasted all 2 episodes because I held railroad spikes on the 2nd episode.
Yeah, anything that's rusty kills white gloves. So this is actually a very recent piece. I don't even think this unboxing video is out yet. But hey, this is a souvenir clock from Ulm. And as you can see on the sleeve here, you have a little 28th Division. So I'm going to hopefully get this clock restored to be able to actually use it. But very cool. I did some research, and apparently these were manufactured from like right at the end of World War II up through like the 50s. And you can find all kinds of different unit emblems on them, depending on, you know, what soldier was buying them. But of course, Readout and I have a soft spot for the 28th.
Yep, being PA boys ourselves.
Yeah, being PA boys. And if you look at my profile picture, of course, it is this helmet here for the 28th Division. It's very nice. Also, I don't think anybody's seen this mannequin yet. This is wearing also 28th Division uniform, which is pretty nice. Got that mannequin at an antique show at a local town for like, I think $40. Can't beat that.
Will Allen says, I worked for a guy who won a medal in 1947 for fighting the last holdouts in Germany. He said the public were not informed at all that combat was still ongoing.
Oh, interesting. That's very interesting. So, one of the areas I've researched a little bit was the supposed activity of werewolf. I don't know if you're familiar with that readout. But werewolf was like this whole plan for like an underground resistance in Germany after the end of World War II. Now, officially, they never did anything.
Officially?
Officially, yeah. There's a handful of like post-war like deaths of like some officers that some people say was werewolf. but it seems like they were more likely just accidents. Like there was a building that like some army offices were in that blew up, but it was found out there was like an ammo storage in the basement, so like that kind of happened.
Are you saying that Patton's death was werewolf?
well, Patton, the worst of all, Patton died, right? So
no, he died after.
He died
well, at least after the European theater was over.
Okay, so before Japan. That's interesting. I've never heard that theory, but I can maybe. But yeah, no. If you have any more information on that, I'd be very curious because, as far as I'm aware, at least in the general historical community, it's just assumed that werewolf kind of fizzled out and never did anything. But if they were still active in '47, that's got to be like some really cool story. Because the original plan was like they were going to pull back into the Austrian Alps and they were just going to like guerrilla warfare for, I guess, until the Allies left. I don't know what the endgame plan really was there since, I don't think Germany was going to exactly let them back in power. A lot of what's left in this box is stuff that is kind of in my backlog to catalog. We have this lovely German prayer book here with these Bakelite covers. I like getting these prayer books when sellers list them with like death cards inside, because generally it's like, oh, these are all people that the person knew or was related to. This one was particularly interesting because when I opened it up, the first card there, I did this in unboxing a while ago, is for a member of Panzer Grenadier Regiment Großdeutschland, which is a very famous unit. But yeah, that's going to be in my backlog of stuff I need to get to.
The backlog.
The
back rooms. Actually, behind me, there's just an endless procession of office spaces. That's where he puts all of his inventory.
Yeah, it's just like if you've seen the video where Readout and I go to the Battlefield Military History Museum or whatever it's called in Gettysburg.
Yeah, that's the name. I think the Battlefield Military Museum.
Yeah,
it was an interesting experience.
Oh, this is pretty cool. I was gonna do a whole video on this. I never did. So sneak preview for a video is probably never gonna happen. So this is a whole bunch of photos and documents from a husband and wife that served in the Second World War. And I had a bunch of patches from her. But her husband was killed in France shortly after D-Day. And probably one of the most sobering pieces that I own is this little box here, which is his effects that were sent back after his death. And one of the items in here, I have so many good items I need to do videos on, because this is a story that really needs to be told, I think. I'll put this cardboard box. There we go. So we have a couple letters that were on his person. We have a eagle that he apparently picked up somewhere. I've never seen this type before. Probably came right out of the factory. There's a couple photos, some documents, but the really sobering piece that's in here is his ID bracelet.
Oh, wow.
And as you can see there, it's been taken off of his body probably, but his name was Robert Thurlaway, serial number 360-18136. I really do need to do a video on this at some point. And then there's like some captured francs and things. We have a card there for his ID card from Chicago. And then I have there's 100 photos from his wife in here. I think this is her actually. And then also apparently kidney stones that she had removed in Naples, Italy in 1944.
Huh.
Yeah.
Of all the things to
all the things to keep. Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Connor? That you own somebody's kidney stones?
I probably own weirder stuff, if I'm being honest, but my question is, why would you keep them? It's almost like having the jar of toenails, It's like, why? But now it's like, well, I can't throw it out now because it goes with everything else. So it's like,
Will Allen says, I've been studying military history since the 1980s, and I've never seen one of those boxes. Very neat. Yeah,
they're a kind of thing that doesn't normally survive. So that was one of the reasons. So what happened was I bought the box from the same picker, actually, I was talking about with a lot of my passion things. I really miss him. He's great. But after I bought that box, he said, oh, just so you're aware, I'm going to be listing his wife's photos and stuff in the next week. So what happened was they went up, and I was like, okay, well, I have to save them. I have to keep them together, right? And the bids just kept going up and up. My ceiling on that was I was only going to spend $100. That was my plan. I ended up spending $180 because I couldn't bear the thought of separating them.
Yeah, I've been in that position.
Yeah, it hurt.
Yeah, there's a story to these items. They shouldn't be broken up if there's a story.
Exactly. And that's why, that was the one thing that he did I wasn't a huge fan of. Because, like, with the grouping SS letters that I had from the guy in SS Viking, he sold one, which I bought, and then he messaged me and said, hey, just so you know, I have, like, 40 more for the same guy if you're interested. And so I made a deal with him and got them that way. But it's a really cool set, too, because he was in from, like, 42 to 44, and then the last letter in the grouping is from his commanding officer letting his family know that he was killed somewhere in Ukraine, I think. But again, I just haven't had time to translate them or the ability to. Some more balloon core items. Got a nice press photo there.
Yeah. Press photos are always fun to collect.
Yeah, they're nice, big quality photos. Then we have some German observation balloon stuff here. These are very rare. These are actually from the Second World War, not the First. Yeah, same balloon design. Yeah, really cool stuff. And then actually a Christmas party invitation, if I remember correctly from when I translated that. It's pretty neat.
Pretty epic.
Yeah, and again, these are things I still need to like scan in and actually properly archive. Because I scan basically all the documents and photos that I get. You know, I scan my death cards and stuff. Eventually, I'm going to have to put together a website so people can access all of it. But, like, yeah, because I have probably... Well, this is my photo album. You know, like, literally thousands of photos.
When the photos expand the binder, which is already on epic scale, on Big Chungus level.
It's a big binder. And then this other one here is for, like, my documents, which is a little less packed. Now this little blue binder here is my death cards. Now these are just the death cards I've actually like finished researching.
So be careful, some will fall out.
Oh no, they're good. Oh, so these are the fake cards that I have.
Oh, those are the fake ones. That's how you treat the fake ones.
Yeah, but no, this is by the way, if you collect death cards, this is a great way to store them. These are these archival quality like card sleeves. Really good stuff. Also, another great way to display them is in my dining room. I have an electronic frame that has the scans all of these that kind of goes through as well. Eventually, I'm probably going to put it over here somewhere. But, let's see. It's kind of cool. I haven't looked at this stuff that's kind of in my backlog in a long time. Let's see here. We got some postcards. Ooh, Independence Day, 1918 in Paris. Pretty nice.
Pretty epic.
Yeah. Picked a lot of those up at that same antique show. Or that same antique fair at CB's. Yeah, we got another one of these German prayer books. This one's a little bit better condition. This one, I didn't pay a ton for, but it had some really interesting cards in it. So we have this backing, which I have never seen before.
Huh.
It's in color. Like, that's just a really cool one. Also have this other one that has a soldier with a helmet as the backing. So that's not actually the guy. That's just the back plate. He's inside there. There was another really interesting one in here that actually had the grave photo, which you don't see very often. Yeah. So here we actually have a photo of his grave with his rifle and everything. Very, very uncommon. You don't see that very often at all. Sorry. It's off-centered from the camera there. Yes, this is the card of Willy Wehofer, who was killed June 1944 in the West. So, but June 10th, so right after D-Day. Yeah.
June 6th, yeah. D+4.
So, D-Day, or Normandy campaign death card with the actual photo of the grave with like his rifle on it. I've never seen one like that. It's a pretty unusual one. I feel like I say that every death card video. It's like, oh, this is kind of an unusual one. It's like I've probably close to 1,000.
They're all unique because they're all individuals. They're all humans that did all slightly different things.
Exactly. And that's the important thing to kind of remember. I'm trying to think if there's anything else super interesting in here. Got a card for the Ancient Order of the Deep for crossing the equator on board the USS Muncie.
Okay, that was pretty vague. Ancient Order of the Deep. I was half expecting.
It's like a cult thing.
I thought you were going to say it was some Lovecraftian cult.
That probably was.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, good old Cthulhu who lies sleeping in Relier. And yeah, a whole bunch of felt posts, more postcards. Probably the last really interesting thing in this box is this Austro-Hungarian cabinet photo. Which just take a look at that thing. With I've got good old Franz Josef up there. And what's cool is this one was actually shot in Budapest.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty neat. So I have no idea if that shop's still there. Probably not. But you'd be surprised because I've started doing research into a lot of the like local printers that were like printing the death cards and stuff. And I would say a good like solid 2/3 of them are still in business, which is crazy. Yeah, that's pretty much the bulk of it. So yeah, like I said, there's a handful of pieces still like floating around in my parents' house that I'll be slowly moving in. But yeah, this is where we're at currently.
Will Allen says, me and my brother remodeled a home for a German citizen that lived here whose dad didn't get released by Russia until 1954.
Yeah.
Yes. And you might want to hold it back up again. DBHLL Productions has jumped in to say, bro, that Panzerfaust is so nice. You may want to go grab that Panzerfaust.
Oh, yeah, the Panzerfaust.
Yeah, hold that up.
Me,
everybody's liking the Panzerfaust.
I'm going to take the shape charge off just because it's loose. Yeah, the good old Panzerfaust. Again, this is probably one of my favorite items. I love the thing. It's such a simple design, too, and the Germans made millions of these. Yeah, so between this one, which is the 60, and then I have the, like I said, the tube for the 150 up there, there's 3 other versions of the Panzerfaust that I don't have. There's the Klein, which is like the small one, and then there's 2 that are between the 60 and the 150, and for the life of me, I can't remember what they are. Because I want to say it's 90 and 120, but I think one of them is screwy, just to mess with you. But yeah, you got the original label there with the instructions. It's pretty neat. I can't remember where it is, but I actually have like a manual for the Panzerfaust, or like a 1-page, like, hey, this is how you use it. It's probably in my document binder somewhere.
DBHLL Productions is happy to see that the writing's on it, too.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things that drew me to it, is just the fact that it's all super original. And I don't think it shows up particularly well, but there's still even like the tube markings as well, because there's writing on the tube, but most of that's kind of faded out. It's in the red text there.
It's in the red.
Yeah.
Everything's in the red.
Yeah, so eventually when I put together my Volkstorm man again, I'm going to give him this. Because it'll be appropriate. And the shape charge is pretty cool. This is what made the Panzerfaust so effective, is the shaped charge. I would not have wanted the job of prying that off of there.
No.
Demilling that? Nah, not for me.
Not for you?
Not for me. But yeah, I think that's just about everything. So I'll get out of the way so you can take a glamour shot.
Yep, I will start maneuvering.
Move the box.
Listen to that side of the bubble wrap. Oh, look at everything. I can't go down too far. I got a long tripod.
Yeah.
Also don't want to make you folks motion sick. Yeah, but there's that mannequin he was talking about.
Yep, 20th division.
And we got the
wall of yard longs?
Yeah, the one's crooked.
Oh, which one?
The lower one.
Oh, yeah, this is one of Koblenz, Germany. There, that's right.
It's a little better.
Yeah, it's a little better.
It's a little better. Here's some new ones back here in the corner. It's hard to see.
Yeah, Redoubt actually picked these up for me. Pull them out here. Local antique store was selling them for, what, $25?
25 for the whole thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Mounted troops, something you don't see very often. Eventually, I'll get them framed and up on the wall, too, which would be nice. I also have, it's in my filing cabinet, so I can't show you guys right now, because the filing cabinet's still out of my parents'. But I actually have a balloon core yard long as well, but it's all rolled up. It came with a lot of documents that I brought.
And we got the Pillar of Hercules over here.
Yeah, all my future reading.
Don't pull from it.
Yeah, and then the pile on the floor, too, is also...
Yeah, this is the back rooms I was talking about.
Yeah, this is my video game and movie closet.
Yeah, there's you got some laser discs back here.
Yeah, I do have some laser discs. I have a laser disc player, which, funny story, I bought the house, and there was a thing labeled laser disc. There was a box labeled laser disc up in the attic. And I thought for sure it was a Laserdisc player. So I went on eBay and I ordered a bunch of Laserdiscs. And then I went and actually opened it. It was a Laserdisc CD player. And then I was like, well, crap. Well, now I have to buy a Laserdisc player because I have all these Laserdiscs. Sometimes I do put the cart ahead of the horse, in case you couldn't tell.
And Alexander Stefan is saying, Humble, I love your channel and your research about def cards.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's something that I enjoy doing. It's usually when I get home from work, if I'm not stopping to watch TV or something, I'll usually pull up Ancestry for a couple hours to start working through my backlog. Though recently, all of my def card research has been going to this project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's going to be cool.
Yeah, so this pamphlet, for those of you who haven't seen the posts I made about it, this was published by the Gustav Hoffmann Shoe Company in 1953 for all their employees that were killed during the war. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm working on the D last names right now. So we're getting there. But it's proven some really interesting stuff. A couple of the guys actually ended up in the same unit. I researched a guy today who was in the same company actually as another employee of the company in one of the Grenadier regiments. But yeah, and then at the end here, which I'm very curious to research, is this listing of the missing. So we have all these people here that went missing during the war as of 1953, still haven't come back. So it's possible some of these guys, like somebody commented earlier, might actually have still been in prison camps. Probably, though, a lot of these guys were just, killed on the battlefield and never recovered. So I'm very curious to actually start going through their names. But my goal is to have that researched and filmed for putting together for the next Sturb Build September, which I think I should have plenty of time to do.
Your themed month.
Yeah, the theme month. Though there's like 300 names in that book, so it's going to take me some time. I think I'm through about like 20 so far, if that. But yeah. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed the stream. I appreciate you hanging out. It was good kind of audience participation. I really appreciate that. It's always good talking to you guys. And yeah, I guess Redoubt, anything that you want to end us with?
I want to end with one final thing. Jackson Ambrose popped in to say, been taking care of my family collection. Second great uncle brought back a Japanese SNLF helmet cover that I got. Unfortunately, everything else was sold by someone.
Yeah, that's a story that I hear a lot is, you see it online all the time, is somebody's like, oh yeah, my uncle or, cousin or whatever sold all the family military. It's a darn shame. Redoubt and I used to work with a volunteer who had, like, all of his family's military all the way back to, like, the French-Indian War.
Yeah. Like,
all of the muskets, all of the diaries, like, crazy stuff. I really wish I had that kind of, like, family history kind of heirlooms, but I really don't have anything.
No, but do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I guess stay tuned. Now that the whole collection's kind of under one roof, or soon to be under one roof, I'm going to try to spend more time filming some of the non-death card stuff in my collections. There's a lot of good stuff here that I really haven't.
Yeah, there's a reason Humble Collector has been focusing heavy on death cards the past year. A lot of moving.
Yeah, a lot of moving, and death cards is something that I can... I have a pretty decent backlog of, like, cards I've researched. Like, this pile of papers here, this is all of my notes on the death cards that I have researched that I haven't filmed yet. So... there's something I can kind of do in between moving. Of course, work's been crazy lately. Life's been kind of crazy. But, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff and cool stories here that I really want to talk about. And hopefully we'll have time for in the near future.
So, it is time for the obligatory shilling time.
Shilling time.
I know we don't... Sometimes we don't want to do it. And I don't want to seem like a butt. I don't know how to use that in a guy's term. But, I don't... But, hey, we got to make sure everybody goes to your channel. So, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to A Humble Collector. You're watching a live stream on his channel right now. And, in fact, probably the only ones that have known of this live stream is if you are subscribed and got the community post today.
Yeah, I don't know how... If you've stumbled upon this randomly...
Thank you, and welcome.
Yeah.
Hit that like button and subscribe to this man's channel. The subscribe button is right below. It is. You can see it. It's actually right here. It's not hard. So please do that to help continue support. We are trying to get A Humble Collector to 1,000 subscribers, and there will be a 1,000 subscriber celebration.
Yes, there will be. It's going to be a thing.
Yins aren't prepared.
You're not prepared. And of course, please also go and check out Redoubt Productions' channel. He does wonderful history documentaries talking about, military history of Western Pennsylvania in general. Really great stuff. Highly recommend you check him out. And of course, if you're going to check out his channel as well, please also check out our joint podcast channel, Heterochrome Media, where we compare two different kinds of media and kind of compare and contrast different themes in them. So currently, we're almost wrapped up with episode 2.
We just
wrapped up episode 2. Yeah.
Well, we renamed it episode 4 for 13.
Yeah, so that's us comparing Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is an anime, to the movie The Wall, Pink Floyd. So surprisingly, there's a lot more similarities than you would expect. But yeah, it's a fun time. It's a little less, serious than kind of the stuff that I do that Readout normally does. And yeah, it's just a good time overall. But yeah, really appreciate you guys showing up. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment down below for those of you who aren't watching live. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Happy collecting, and I'll see you all again very soon.
See you guys.